What is up, everybody? We're doing a really cool tour with Santiago, and we have an eSprinter behind us that you actually come up with a cool name, which is?
The Rogue Grid Runner.
The Rogue? Like Rogue, like the company?
Rogue Van Company, yeah.
Grid Runner.
The Grid Runner.
And we're gonna check all...
Because it runs off the grid.
Oh, damn. I see what he did there. But we're going to check all the details out. We got an amazing bike rack that I didn't even know. I haven't seen one in person. I'm so excited to see that. And we're gonna see how this all operates. Is it really an eSprinter that can not use gasoline at all? Let's check it out.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. We're doing an eSprinter town.
Let's go. You were just ready to go.
I don't need prep.
I know. That's what I love. Are you kidding me? I'm going to start right there. I don't need prep. Let's go.
I don't need prep.
How's
it going? Ladies and gentlemen, Santiago Fileta, Rogue Van Company, SEMA 2024, presenting to you the all-new Rogue Vans eSprinter concept vehicle. I say concept in front of everything, so if I make mistakes, then they're excused. Look, listen, it's a concept. It's a concept.
Well, you started this project like when you ordered, obviously, the Sprinter. When? How long has that been?
Well, we started it in February, March, mocked it up, 3D designed it, figured out all the electrical and all the stuff we were gonna do, and then we built a portion of the cabinets, and then we got tremendously busy and we put it on a shelf.
Oh, let's clear up. Last time I had you on, you said, I married my cousin.
Yeah.
Can you clear that up, please? So for everybody that's like, what is he talking about?
Not a problem. I officiated my cousin's wedding.
Thank you.
I married my cousin in this jacket on the Nile earlier this year. My cousin married a beautiful woman. Her name is Jordan. They have a child together.
Yes.
They got married on the River Nile.
And you wore that suit that you officiated.
Yes.
I
wore the suit that I pointed out to you.
I will put the clip in here so everybody can know and see it and be like, what the heck is he talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we got this eSprinter. Everybody wants to know, what's the range on this? You know, what's all that good stuff? Just Sprinter by itself.
So, I mean, let's talk about it. The eSprinter, do I think it is the van of the future, like everyone's gonna have one? Absolutely not. We don't have the infrastructure for that. But. Yet. But if we're talking about a reliable in-town vehicle that you can take within a 100-mile radius, because it has basically a 200-mile range.
Okay.
That's from our real-world testing.
Okay.
It's a super practical van. This can replace minivans. This is obviously good in the commercial sector for last-mile delivery. We're just trying to play with what it would look like to do like a modular camper concept build on a vehicle that has about 200 miles of range. What kinds of things are you going to do with that range, right?
Well, let me ask you this. While it's fresh in my mind, would you consider maybe putting in a gas generator just in case something goes awry and you need to charge it up on the road?
No, I wouldn't, because I think that I don't think it should be used right now for cross-country travel.
Okay.
I think that we have other things that we can do. I mean, I have designs. We've begun CADing the whole exterior shell of the van, because I'd like to make CNC molded solar panels that go all on the outside of the body.
That actually charge the van battery itself?
That actually charge the van battery. Yeah, so we had several discussions with Mercedes-Benz. I had 4 separate meetings with Mercedes-Benz North America, head of the upfitting division there. We were talking about, we're a Mercedes expert outfitter, so I have all the documents and back end stuff to look into specs and what's okay, what's not okay, what's permissible, what's not permissible. I had initially had designs to do this triple tiered solar deck, which would deploy to either side and then have a static panel in the center. So basically it'd be like a dual awning. And there's,
That's probably about 3 kilowatt, give or take.
I think we were calculating it could be up to 5.
That's pretty good.
500.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a trickle charge, but it's still a charge.
So it's a 113 kilowatt hour battery on the chassis.
That's not bad.
That's a big battery. Yeah, it is.
Rivians are over 130.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you go under there, they quite clearly used every usable inch that they could.
Well, not only that, I'm sure they're weight conscious too, because obviously the more weight you add with EVs, so.
And the weight, the payload on this is basically identical to a regular diesel Sprinter. So,
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah, it's a great payload. I mean, you can tell with our build isn't super heavy. This thing isn't like squatted or anything.
No, it's not.
Like it's.
Did you change the
handling it
tires?
fine. Yeah, we did change the tires. We just wanted them to look nice. They're not all-terrain tires. This is just like a Kevlar. It's a Kevlar sidewall tire. It has just a little bit better handling, a slightly more aggressive tread, but it's not an AT tire. It likes stop and go traffic. When we did our testing, we had a little YouTube video. When we were in stop and go traffic, we were seeing like almost like a net zero.
Because of the
consumption.
regenerative braking?
Yes.
Okay.
And the cool thing about this is it has various stages of regenerative braking. You can choose how like heavy that regeneration is.
Does it have a frunk?
No, let's go look at it.
Yeah, let's go.
So no, they don't have a Frunk. I had high aspirations for a Mercedes Frunk, but Mercedes is far too practical to give us that. They wanted a very serviceable bay. You can see here, all of the orange cables are high voltage cables. You'll notice that there's a glycol system. There's coolant here. There's a radiator. So what that is a super intelligent design that Mercedes came up with for optimal battery temperature usage. So this thing not only senses your proximity with the key and stuff like that, it also learns your habits in conjunction with charging, and it will basically program itself to heat this glycol up like a traditional like radiant system, but it's for the batteries to get it at optimal operating temperature.
Well, it's funny, in the van world, we use glycol for heated floors, as you know. And now they're using it to heat batteries, which makes the most sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and I don't know who came up with that. I don't know if
German
that's
engineering.
Well, I don't know if it's native to Mercedes or if other EV companies. That's what I mean. Like I'm not certain. Like
could have been
the
Elon.
origination of that. Yeah, it could have been.
Who knows?
Could have been Elon. Could have been somebody else.
It could have been Zach from Jerry Rig Everything. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have.
So-
It's probably Zach.
You have these cabinetry that you obviously like reduce a crap ton of weight.
Yeah, well, we're here, we're at SEMA 2024. We're here with box manufacturer RRE Global. They have their Grenadier here behind.
Cool.
It's kind of hiding behind this van.
Okay.
It's only viewable from the other side. We wanted to bring these cabinets in to kind of like illustrate to people. We did not, in fact, make these cabinets.
Oh, you didn't?
No, we did not. But we wanted to bring them because they had them at their warehouse in Henderson, just to the southeast of Nevada or of Vegas. We wanted to bring them so that people could see, like, actually have a tangible example of kind of what we did with our cabinets. These are made by a German company called Campany. And if you go back and you look at RRE Global's like old show van from like 2 years ago, they have like the whole thing is made with a kit from Campany. The reason why we're showcasing them is because we basically have a very, very similar bungee. Our bungee cord is thicker than this and our attachment points are slightly different, but this is basically how we built our modular upper cabinets in that van, because the whole van essentially detaches using these L-track thumb screws.
Well, let's, speaking of that L-track,
Yeah.
you used the smart floor. Can we step on in?
We did. Yeah, let's take a look at it.
And RRE Global, that's their product, right?
Yes, it is. So we've got a smart floor here. You can see we've got these smart seats from AMF Bruns. They've got the swivels. They're easy to use.
Is that
really
DOT
well.
approved, or they're just?
Yeah, this is all DOT,
It's all DOT?
approved.
Cool.
Yeah, they're all DOT approved. I'm not sure if the eSprinter is currently approved by the DOT for passenger carrying,
Okay.
which is,
Right now, just cargo.
I believe it's just cargo. And I was talking earlier about how I'd had all these meetings with Mercedes, and I think like one of the big stumbling blocks between them like officially endorsing this build was I don't think they felt great about passengers in a space that the DOT is not approving.
Okay.
There are issues there. I don't think it's an actual safety issue. It's just a regulatory issue.
Sure.
But I mean, that doesn't stop many of us from like
Hell yeah.
putting seats in the, you've got, dude, I mean, let me tell you, this is really safe. I'm not worried about
It's super
this.
safe. I mean, I know the smart floor is really safe.
Yeah,
It is
it's
what it is.
incredible. And one of the reasons why it mates so perfectly with the eSprinter is because the smart floor actually glues in.
Yes.
Right? You can't go through the floor here. You can't screw through the floor.
Right.
It's all battery basically until right around where those pill windows start and in the rear. It's basically nothing but battery. So
Well, you also did something really cool. I want to step on in, and I don't know who came up with this. Was that you or Stolp or somebody?
the floating.
The floating cabinetry. I'm going to get underneath it right
You
here.
know, our lead designer and myself, his name is Nick Pedersen. We were kind of discussing like what we could do. We have a lot of synergy when we like talk through design ideas, and I can't quite remember how it came about or who came up with what. Nick, I will tell you that Nick came up with this like slanting, like kind of like almost like Art Deco,
Cool.
Golden Age sort of cabinetry. Now the cool thing is these cabinets, number one, they fully detach. There's like quick release ports located on the wall. You can literally just unmount them and take them fully out. But these cabinets mirror one another, just as the benches mirror one another. So it's a very simple thing to build.
This is a Rogue Van concept, not just for eSprinter. You could
not just eSprinter,
right?
Yeah, this is like a fully modular thing, and so we're getting a lot of traction here at SEMA. We have a lot of people, especially folks in Canada and other places where there's a need. There's a need for stuff like this, and I know there's lots of companies making like, kind of do-it-yourself kits. Mm-hmm. I've never thought about entering the space, but after building this and seeing how honestly, quite lovely it is. I really like it. I love this helmet shelf.
Yeah.
This helmet shelf's really cool. I love this open helmet shelf.
I love how you guys just staged it with the helmets. As I know those aren't yours.
No, they're not mine. This is Steve's though.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Andreas from our RE let us borrow these
some
helmets and some bikes too.
Can I ask you? So this is modular. You said it was removable. Mm-hmm. Is this? Thank you. I know you're. Well, actually, I was going to ask you about the gray tank. So. That's obviously a sink. Is that, if it's removable, how does that contraption all work?
So as you know, I'm an RVIA certified upfitter.
Mm-hmm.
A vehicle of this size, dimension, and capacity is not required by law under U.S. ordinance or RVIA code to have a gray water tank.
Okay.
It's fully legal for this sink to just drain on the ground.
I agree.
Yeah.
Where is the drain? Because it's floating.
So the drain hooks up through the wall.
Okay,
and then goes down through the pinch seam, and then goes into the hollow cavity in the lower quarter panel on the side of the van, and then pops out.
Okay, talk about some precise drilling by your team then. I mean, this is a cool design, by the way. I love it. Nice. What wall material? Because it looks wavy, but it's not.
So this is Chilowich.
It is, okay.
This is the same stuff that Brian and the guys at Inhabit use for their floors. It's awesome.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. Inhabit's awesome. Chilowich is awesome. Yeah. I love all those people. Chilowich actually sponsored this build. They gave us this wall material.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. They're great. They're awesome. And we're working with them also for the Rob Machado build.
Okay, cool.
We're full steam ahead Chilowich. I think they're an awesome company. I love this product. It's fully waterproof. It looks really good. It was really easy to work with.
I was gonna say it's washable. It's you could just wipe
washable,
it. Yeah.
Dude. You could be sitting here on the sponge and on the sink and have a sponge in your hand and just wipe this wall off and just clean it. Speaking of sponsors, other cool people that did nice things for us. The guys over at Vannon.
This thing right here?
Yep, all these little hooks and stuff, and then they've got their really cool bike mount in the back, which takes a park tool, claw arm for working on your bike. There's one set up back there we can go look at in a minute.
You want to? Yeah.
But dude, Vannon makes totally different vans than Rogue does, but they also make a lot of really cool products. Now these floating cabinets are hooked into L-track, and
you're just pushing down pretty good on them. And you're not a
240 pound
I was about to say you're a solid guy. You're not
am.
You're not thick at all, but you're just solid.
I'm thick. I'm a thick guy.
I'm thicker.
I didn't used to be a thick guy. I'm a thick guy now.
Marriage and children will do that too.
Married and kids. Yeah. So no, I'm a big man. This is not a problem. And this bungee cord design is prevalent throughout. So it's how we did our upper cabs. It's actually also how we did the utility cabinets in the Luna.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, utility cabs are done in this style as well. You have a clear line of sight all the way through the back door to the front, through the bench, because the bench has holes. It's cool. We'll take a look at it. This center compartment right here is where the batteries live. In the back, you'll see it like that. That's a full tip-up hatch style. This is a storage hatch right here, so you can store things. You've got just kind of cubby style drawers here.
And you got a fridge.
And you got a fridge, yeah, and it's floating.
And it's a floating fridge.
Which is just really, for lack of a better word, trippy.
It is kind of trippy,
it is
but
really
it's also
trippy.
really rad.
We've got some cheeses in here. We've got some meats. We've got a freezer, all kinds of good stuff. And then you can access all your plumbing and stuff like that. We've been doing this a lot lately in all of our builds where we have these large like flip down drawers, so that you can use the space that's occupied by your sink, just to maximize. It's simple.
It is simple.
And modular and effective.
It is very simple, and it's a perfect day tripper. It's, you know, weekender. I mean, it's a perfect, I mean, if you want to just get away for a little bit.
Dude, that is literally what we tried to do. We just tried to make something that would be extremely useful for the range and capacity of this vehicle, and then we could also, you know, kind of translate that to other vehicles too that are not EVs that you just want to take out occasionally.
Well, let's step to the back.
Yeah, we've got this awesome wrap. This is kind of inspired by some of the F1 like Mercedes styling. Also, when Mercedes announced the eSprinter, they came out with some really cool, kind of provocative, futuristic, almost like Tron-like graphics, which I really liked. This is that cool Vanon bike clamp. Super effective, really efficient.
Bolts right to the metal of the Mercedes?
Bolts right to the metal. And that's for all of them. You can it's got this like adjustable arm. You can do all this different stuff with it. It's super easy. Full Chilowich door panels. I love the way they look. They came out. They look
great.
They came out really cool.
I don't know if the camera's really catching that. It kind of is, but
it looks really cool in person. This is that clear line of sight I was talking about. So you've got these bungees on either side of the benches.
Like you can put those skis or snowboard in there.
Yeah, you could totally like shove some skis in there or long things and just like let them
Fishing
go
rods.
full length. Oh yeah.
You're a fisherman, aren't you?
Not anymore.
No?
I was in my youth.
Okay.
In my youth I was. My misspent fisherman youth.
And then this is another sponsor of yours, I presume.
Yep. So we got Big Battery here. As everyone knows, or maybe you don't know, Big Battery sponsored our RC1 project. Instead of 2 of these 7 kilowatt hour 48 volt batteries, we had 4 in the RC1. So this is a 14 kilowatt hour battery bank. The idea behind the battery bank is this is basically what I'm kind of referring to as the backpack. This receives charge from the solar. It goes through our Victron into the batteries. The batteries stay topped off, and then basically right now what we have going on is a 5,000 watt multi-plus that then basically just mates with the native 120 charging system on the van. Is it the most efficient way to do that? No. Is it the most I can do with what Mercedes will let me do? Yes.
So there's also, I just realized this, there's no alternator. You can't alternator charge like we do on all of our other vans.
Well, actually there is.
Okay.
There's not an alternator in like a traditional sense, but there is a DC to DC step down converter, which does charge and power. In DC to DC charging, you typically have like supply modules and then you have charging modules. In this instance, it's more of like a supply module. So like if you take a 48 volt system and you do like an Orion 48, 12, 30 amp or 20 amp or 10 amp like step down converter, that's supplying like a supply voltage. It's like a set voltage that's being emitted from the DC to DC converter. And basically like that's just, it's not charging, it's more like just giving a like regular continuous flow of electricity at a specific amperage and a specific voltage. So like you've got this whole 12 volt system up there that we could tap into. Like we legitimately could not have this backpack battery, and if the goal was let's keep this as light and nimble and low key as possible, we could actually probably pull solid like 10, 15 amps off of that system.
I mean, you're literally, this is, like you said at the beginning, concept. You're just tapping into what your potential could be. This is still going to be a work in progress.
Yeah. Like I had discussed too, like I wanted to do that crazy rack with the solar. And then I had a meeting with Mercedes and they were like, actually that roof really shouldn't have that on there.
Right.
It's not right. Like, it's not rated for that.
So, I mean, you're just in the beginning of all this. You're going to get better at, not better, but like you're going to just advance improvements.
It's going to get more nuanced.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like if we can get those panels on, if I can access
what about deployable panels?
The BMS. Yeah, but deployable panels is totally an option. It's just not very, for lack of a better word, sexy.
No, it's not. Like Matt Damon did in Martian.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So we can be on this like cold red planet, or we can be a little sleeker, you know, like cutting through things.
We could be sleeker, yes.
I would love to see, and I've been dreaming about this for years, and I'm not the only one. I know that there are concepts out there. Mercedes-Benz, Germany, has a concept eSprinter driving around with solar panels glued to the roof.
I guess you could use flexes.
Yes, and that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to, so like I said, we've started catting the body. You know, I've been trying to get a hold of Merlin.
The solar panel company, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that they would be a really good partner.
They're not easy to get a hold of.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, if you're watching this, I've been emailing you. If we could get like custom molded panels, I think that we could actually generate a significant amount of electricity.
Again, we're kind of just having a chat on camera. This is what it is.
This is just a chat, folks.
This is a chat. What about like panels that would literally like deploy out, like that would be tucked down on the side and come up instead of sliders?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's going to be more efficient. That's going to be more efficient for tracking the sun and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, like that's an option too. That's an option too.
They're just going to have drag along the side when you're driving. Yes. So you got to keep that all in mind too. But
so it's a big wide world.
It is.
We're like, in a lot of ways, like we're kind of like pioneering like stuff. Not just me, like all of this. This is all.
You might be the first eSprinter I've seen built out. They've done some like DIY e-transits.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen a professional company do any.
Well, I think everyone's kind of scared to do it.
I don't blame them.
I think people are scared of like the questions. What can we actually like make that fits this use case? I think that's the first problem, which I think we've addressed pretty nicely, especially because, you know, we're building in Southern California. There are so many places you can go that you would want to go within 100 miles of where you're living. It just makes a lot of sense. And there's tons of charging infrastructure there. That's number one. Number two, I think people are afraid of being criticized. We did just like an Instagram post with Illuminous that makes this awesome carrier that we'll talk about in a minute. We did a post with them, and yeah, like everyone's like, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like EV vehicles. I don't think that's the future.
I mean, EV. I mean, honestly, I believe it's almost like a 50-50 split of people like either love it or hate it.
They love it or hate it. Yeah, very galvanizing.
Talking to a guy that actually had an EV.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. Was the infrastructure? Were we ready for it yet? No.
Yeah.
I think we're coming though.
You know what too though? Like I remember before I had a cell phone, I remember before like when I had to use payphones to call people. I remember when I would take the bus places.
Yeah.
And like all I could do was read a book or look out the window or talk to the person sitting near me. More accustomed to like a slower pace of life where like you actually had to wait for things. I don't think the current infrastructure would really be much of a problem.
That's a really interesting point. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, we expect rapid, quick, immediacy.
I looked up back when the first gasoline vehicle was invented, and then I looked at how many gas stations were available.
Dude.
Same exact thing.
Same concept.
Same exact concept.
Yeah,
and
people were
it's
like,
about the
"That's
same
ridiculous."
percentage-wise, by the way.
People were like, that's ridiculous. I'm going to take my horse and buggy, or I'm going to ride this steam locomotive or whatever. And you know, like many new things, you know, they're not catching on, and it just takes time and patience. And you know, hydrogen is a big thing.
Hydrogen's coming. We'll see what happens with it.
There are people on the internet who claim to have pure hydrogen vehicles for like the last 20 years. So
sure,
like,
it could work.
It exists. I think
BMW did it like 20 years ago.
Yeah, people have been doing it. It's not even a new technology.
It's not. Well, let's talk about this Illuminous.
Yeah, let's talk about this Illuminous. I work with a lot of different companies. I've talked about other companies in other videos. I've never done a partnership with Illuminous before, and they came out with this amazing product. I mean,
oh, this is the battery operated one.
Yes.
And I was wondering what the battery was in there.
No, that's a little DeWalt battery.
That's genius.
Dude, it works really well.
Are you going to be able to show it?
I am.
Okay.
Shall we do it?
Yeah, let's go. I haven't seen this in person yet.
We've got two e-bikes here. This is probably like 115 pounds.
I mean, this is a game changer for the people that...
Dude, I mean, people thought that our crane on the RC1 was cool, but this is like very practical in a way that the crane could never be. So now that the bikes are at level, you just unhook them. You unhook them.
Guys, I'm making them work. This is great.
Boom, boom. Good to go.
There it is.
Yeah. And then obviously...
You said those are two e-bikes, so they are...
This one's like 50-something pounds, and the other one's probably 60-something.
Do you know weight capacity? I'm sorry, you might have said that. What's the weight capacity?
I think weight capacity I don't know what, I think published weight capacity is nearly 200.
Okay.
But like, I'm gonna tell you right now, and they gave this to us like 2 weeks ago, and we put all kinds of stuff on there.
Have you put your Sur on it?
Dude, oh yeah. Oh, that was like one of the first things that happened. It can take some real weight. I just want everyone to know, this is the battery without a charge that we demoed this product with all day yesterday and the day before.
Wow.
Surprising. It's surprising. So it has a little locator pin and a latch right here. You can see the post right here. And it's about to click in. So that's latched, and now we've got a secondary pin. That secondary pin not only locks it into this locator hole here, it also releases this latch and puts the swivel hook around the post. So now that's super locked in. Illuminous has told me that currently, I think this setup starts at about 4K.
Okay.
You need to have Illuminous ecosystem currently to do this, but they're making an OWL version.
Okay.
And I think they're making a universal version too.
Okay.
Because they're like, and again, I really respect that. Like, they're looking at the market and they're like, okay, there's a lot of OWL stuff out there.
That's a game changer. I feel like a lot of people are gonna not copy it. Illuminous was the first. They came up with that concept. I love it.
Yeah, and it's not simple. I mean, last year at SEMA, they had their mechanical one,
okay,
which was using like, I believe it was 4 hinges per side, so 8 hinges. They were like 4 parallel hinges that like a parallelogram as it opens and closes. It was like that kind of mechanism with reverse struts, as well as like regular struts. So like it helped with lowering and like going up. They wanted to do something simpler and motorized. I think they did a really good job.
Thank you, Santiago, yet again. Contact you where?
You can get us on our website, Rogue Vans or roguevan.com.
Okay.
You can give us a call, 619-483-1325.
I always tell people not to do that.
Don't
but
lose
hey.
that number, no.
Well, dude, thank you so much. We'll definitely see you in the future with an eSprinter.
See y'all later.
Later.